Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Israel.
And I'm Ephraim Graham. Major rescues are planned today in Colorado, where historic flooding has entire towns crumbling. More than 1,000 people are unaccounted for, and at least 6 people are reported dead. Operation Blessing is on the ground there, working with local churches to help the victims. A clear weather forecast today in Boulder County, Colorado, but floodwaters stretch across 15 counties, displacing more than 11,000 people.
The question I had is how can we ever recover from this? And I know exactly, inch by inch, mile by mile, community by community, they're taking this stuff back.
Cleanup is now underway, but local authorities warn it could take months to repair damaged or totally destroyed roads, highways, and bridges. Operation Blessing teams arrived in Boulder this weekend. They partner with Boulder Valley Christian Church to help victims.
There's homes that are completely destroyed, and there's tons of homes that look fine, but the sewers have backed up, and so you just have streets full of people with flooded basements, and there are thousands of families who've been hit by mudslides, by floodwater coming in, and by sewage coming up into their basements.
Boulder's city sewer system is so overrun with water it can't keep up. Colson's church was able to donate hoses and pumps to some residents to keep the sewage water from filling their basements.
It's just a good reminder that our church family is able to come around people when they need, and I know there's a lot of people in the church who've had flooding also, and to see them stepping out and offering help when their own homes are flooding is, I think, just a really good picture of what Jesus would want us to do for our neighbors.
Operation Blessing purchased cleaning supplies for the Boulder Valley Christian Church so teams could continue to go out and help members of the congregation. OB is partnering with other churches across the flooded region, including LifeBridge Church in Longmont.
This church is just full of activity. This weekend it's had its normal 5 services, but in addition they've opened up their doors and they're reaching out to their communities, their neighbors who are going through such devastating times.
Operation Blessing provided the church with a $10,000 cash grant to help them continue to house evacuees and get the emergency and relief supplies they need to help other victims. Meanwhile, in other parts of Boulder County, more rescue efforts are underway. Many flooded areas have been unreachable because of the weather. Today, the National Guard is encouraging stranded residents to use white sheets, flares, or other reflective items to signal to pilots. Now you can find out more about Operation Blessing and its relief efforts by going to its website at ob.org.
Mexico and Japan are experiencing extreme weather as well. In Mexico, 2 different storms have hit the nation from opposite sides. The remains of Tropical Storm Manuel continue drenching the southwestern Pacific region, causing mudslides and floods. On the opposite coast, Hurricane Ingrid is hitting today. The storms have caused at least 21 deaths. And in Japan, Typhoon Manyi arrived with 100-mile-per-hour winds and torrential rains. It's damaging homes and flooding parts of the popular tourist destination Kyoto. Dozens of people have been injured and 260,000 have been ordered to evacuate to shelters.
Several Republican senators are criticizing the deal struck by the U.S. and Russia this weekend to dismantle Syria's chemical weapons. It calls for Syria to provide an inventory of its stockpile within a week, and then the weapons would come under international oversight by November before being destroyed. But Senators John McCain and Lindsey Graham call the deal an act of provocative weakness by America. They say it will embolden enemies like Iran. On NBC's Meet the Press, McCain called the agreement meaningless, saying it goes soft on Syrian leader Assad despite tough talk from President Obama.
But the point is, if the agreement had said that there will be the use of force automatically, or the Russians had agreed that they could go under Chapter 7 to the United Nations Security Council, that puts an entirely different cast on it. Right now, it's up to the Russians to decide that. And by the way, they didn't even assign blame for this attack.
Meanwhile, the White House says possible military strikes against Syria have not been ruled out.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry is briefing France and Britain today on the plan to end Syria's chemical weapons program. That comes after he met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about the U.S.-Russian agreement. Kerry said the proposal is the biggest effort of its kind.
We hope to put in place through the United Nations what Russia and the United States agreed on, which is the most far-reaching chemical weapons removal effort.
The Syrian regime must be stripped of all its chemical weapons, and that would make our entire region a lot safer.
Kerry added that diplomacy is the preferred path, but the threat of military action remains on the table.
Obamacare is proving unpopular even with some of the president's political allies in the labor movement. The AFL-CIO has approved a resolution criticizing parts of the new law. That comes despite efforts by the White House officials to discourage the group from making its concerns so prominent. The strongly worded resolution says the health care law will drive up the cost of union-sponsored health care plans to the point the workers and employers are forced to abandon to a point that the workers and they're forced to abandon them. Labor unions still support the goals of Obamacare to cut health care costs and provide coverage to all Americans, but they say the law, as it stands now, will hurt union health plans.
On the other side of the political aisle, Sarah Palin is stirring up things as the Obamacare October 1st deadline approaches. Her PAC has released an ad called Just Saying. It's loaded with the latest evidence of Obamacare death panels. Take a look.
The shocking truth about Obama's health care plan.
Did that sound like a death panel to you?
The little girl is a prime example of a bureaucrat being able to make that decision is a scary thing.
This bill was always going to lead to rationing. But the important thing to remember is that's just one aspect of Obamacare.
I know that sounds scary to many folks. It sounds scary to me, too.
Why wasn't there just more honesty through this whole process?
The former Alaska governor has raised these concerns before. The difference now is some far-left Democrats actually agree with her.
In just a few weeks, Congress must decide whether to pay for Obamacare in the federal funding bill. Tea Party conservatives like Senator Ted Cruz are calling on fellow lawmakers to defund the law. And their pressure has finally convinced House GOP leaders to take a step in that direction. For more now, we are joined by Gail Trotter of the Independent Women's Forum. Gail, first let's talk about this defunding deal in the House. Explain it for us. Will it work?
Yes, we're down to a very critical 2 weeks in the struggle to defund or repeal Obamacare. And there was talk last week among the House Republican leadership that there would be this trick employed that had a continuing resolution which must be passed before the Congress can fund the government because there has been no budget passed in the last year. So the continuing resolution funds the government going forward. And the trick that the House Republicans were going to try to use is to have a clean continuing resolution that funded all of government, including Obamacare, and then there would also be an addendum that was passed that would defund Obamacare. Now, when this bill would be passed to the Senate for their consideration, Harry Reid would be able to strip out the addenda that would defund Obamacare and send a clean continuing resolution funding all of government, including Obamacare, to the president for his signature. Well, Republicans got wind of this, especially Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, who realized that this would be a way for House Republicans to vote against Obamacare, but actually have no effect on the funding of Obamacare. So what Senator Cruz and his allies in the Senate proposed is to have a continuing resolution that, as part of the continuing resolution, defunded Obamacare. That would be sent to the Senate, and then President Obama and his allies would have to decide whether or not avoiding sending checks to seniors and to military families was worth sacrificing on the altar of Obamacare.
So if the current House Republican leader's idea is just a shell game, is there another way for opponents to strike the funding?
Yes. If this continuing resolution is passed that does not have it as an addendum, but has in the language of the continuing resolution itself that Obamacare would not be funded, then would really shift the burden of the decision of whether or not to shut down the federal government to President Obama, his administration, and his allies. And this is a point where you look at the history of it. Republicans who are in the House of Representatives right now, they all ran on either defunding or repealing Obamacare. Obamacare. And we know that this is a critical 2 weeks because the exchanges go into effect on October 1st. And on January 1st, 2014, the subsidies under Obamacare start flowing. And we also have efforts by senators to prevent the anti-fraud provisions from being unilaterally revoked by Obama and his administration, which was done this summer. So there are many different ways that opponents of Obamacare can help protect the American people who overwhelmingly object to Obamacare going into effect from taking effect.
All right, Gail Trotter, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Abortion centers are closing their doors at an unprecedented rate in America. Baptist Press reports 44 closings so far this year, and some of the shutdowns have been of major clinics. For example, Virginia's leading abortion provider closed following new state regulations it was unable to meet. New laws are among the reasons cited for the upswing in closings, along with the growth in pro-life activity and a decline in abortions. Last year, 25 clinics shut down and 30 shut down in 2011.
New satellite images show the Arctic ice cap is making a comeback. The British paper, the Daily Mail, reports the polar ice cap expanded by 60% in just 1 year. Now you can see the before and after shots in these satellite photos. The news media have blamed global warming for the previously shrinking ice cap, and environmentalists warned that all that melted ice would flood the world. Back in 2007, the BBC predicted all the ice would have melted by 2013. Instead, the opposite has happened this year. Meanwhile, one environmentalist website is proposing naming hurricanes after politicians who didn't believe in climate change. Forecasters had predicted a worse than normal Atlantic hurricane season. Ironically, this season is off to a very slow and mild start.
Coming up, persecution is chasing Iranian Christians out of their homeland. We'll show you the European church that's taking them in.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Europe has been called the new dark continent. Church attendance is very low, especially in the official state churches.
That's right, but revival has come to some German churches in an unexpected way. Dale Hurd reports from Berlin.
Parts of Germany are among the most godless areas in the world. Polling shows that belief in God in the old East Germany is only 13%. But church attendance is growing here, thanks to former Muslims from Iran. At the House of God's Help in East Berlin, Persian converts to Christianity have doubled the size of the congregation. Deaconess Rosemary Gertz.
It came like an unexpected summer rain. Suddenly, new people started coming every week and asked to be baptized. In the beginning, only 5 or 6 Iranians came. They were easy to spot, and we got to know them. And then over time, they brought their friends and neighbors.
Germany has experienced a surge in Islam this year. Muslims conducted a nationwide campaign to give away Qurans in a country that has largely turned its back on biblical Christianity. But Iranian immigrants, or Persians, have already experienced the darkness and oppression of Islam in their native land, and they're hungry for the freedom and joy of Christianity. Michael asked that we disguise his face to protect his family in Iran.
I met a few times with friends in Tehran, in an underground church in a flat. And there we spoke about Jesus. And we tried to do a Bible study sometimes without an actual Bible.
All of the Persians we talked to accepted Christ in Iran and then had to either flee or risk prison or death.
I was on my way to a house church meeting when I saw police outside the flat. So I didn't go in. And later, I called my mother. She said, "The police were here looking for you." So my family helped me flee the country.
When I was in Iran, I wanted to become a Christian, but it's really difficult to learn about Christianity in Iran. It's forbidden for a Muslim to become a Christian. It was really difficult. I had to leave my parents, so I lost my home and my family.
Rosemary says the Persians were surprised to find so many Germans disinterested in Christianity.
Most of them became Christians in Iran and know more about Christianity than you would expect. They're ahead of us in a sense because they have already been persecuted for Christ. And they figured out pretty quickly that a lot of Germans are Christians in name only. And they're disappointed that Germans take religious freedom for granted.
Some Germans are suspicious of the conversions because being baptized can help a refugee stay in Germany rather than be deported. So Sister Rosemary takes the Persian converts through a rigorous schedule of Bible classes.
I did suspect that some of them just wanted to be baptized so they could get a residency in Germany. But that has turned out to be the case with only a few. In fact, some of them who've already been baptized have come back to our faith and baptism class for the first time.
It's not known how many Persian immigrants have converted and joined churches in Germany, but it has become a nationwide phenomenon and is numbering in the thousands. At the House of God's Help, it has reinvigorated the congregation. Dale Hurd, CBN News, Berlin.
Up next, country music's unlikely new star. Hear how a bad record deal led to Adriana Freeman's biggest hit.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans. with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Welcome back. Nearly 5 children die in America every day from abuse or neglect, and thousands more suffer often in silence.
Now, a rising music star is using her voice to shine a light on the problem, and her unique story is making more people pay attention.
Yeah, I am strong, but I break alone.
In 2012, her voice began climbing the charts in Europe. It's now on the rise at home in America. And there's no denying her talent. But Adriana Freeman is a rare find in country music. Country music. I could ask, who are your black female role models for singing country music?
There aren't any, and which was difficult when I was growing up as a child, because my father was very much into country music, and that was just kind of unheard of in the African American home, you know, and I'd come out singing these little country songs and people would be like, what in the world are you doing? And I was like, I didn't know any better. I just knew it was great music.
Adriana began singing on her family's farm in Tallahassee, Florida, when she was just 4 and scored her first gig at 8. Playing at the farmer's market.
And I sat there and sung in Yellow Rosa, Texas. And people just stopped and brought fruit and all this kind of stuff. So after that, my dad was like, oh yeah, I know how to get people to buy stuff. So they made me do it every weekend.
Dad paid his little girl with popsicles and chicken. She grew up singing and one day caught the eye of a country music Hall of Famer, Alabama's Teddy Gentry.
And he was like, so, you want to be a country music singer, huh? And I was like, oh, here we go. So I said, yeah, yes, sir, I do. And he said, well, you know, it's a lot of hard work, right? You know, no one's going to just hand it to you. And I said, yes, I do. I know it's hard. And he said, okay, well, sing something for me. I was like, what, now? Just met you 2 seconds ago. He's like, yeah, now.
Adriana landed a spot on Gentry's Best New Nashville album competition and won. But country music success has not been easy. The lowest blow came just 2 years ago, when her long-awaited record deal came and went.
I mean, I was in tears driving to work, and I'm tearing up now because it was such a low point. And God put a song in my heart. It goes like this. I'll sing it for you guys. Have it your way, Lord. Have it your way. Not mine, but your way, Lord. Your will, I pray.
Adriana's independent project is now on a steady climb up the charts, and her first music video is capturing more than people's eyes. It's capturing their hearts as well.
After all, she's just a little girl.
Just a Girl is a song about the horrific epidemic of child abuse and neglect.
I'm hoping with this video and with the song to bring more awareness so that maybe someone, or maybe someone who's hearing it will say, you know what, that is my life. I need to shape up. I need to look at my child.
That song is now the theme song for National Network for Youth. The Washington, D.C.-based organization helps runaway, homeless, and troubled children. We caught up with Adriana on a recent visit to one of its D.C. facilities.
Not really sure how to feel about something in the way you look.
I told myself and I told God, I said, you know, if I save one, that's all I ask for. It's just one child to be saved. Then I'm happy. But I believe wholeheartedly that more children are going to be saved, and that just makes my heart leap.
It's this work with children that makes Adriana's long journey to recording success worth it. And she doesn't mind being a rare find in country music.
With God, anything is possible, even the impossible. So, as being one of the plowers for this, yes, it always comes with opposition. But nobody ever said plowing was easy. But somebody's got to do it.
Wow, Ephraim, what a great story. She's amazing.
I tell you, her voice, and she will certainly make a lot of headway in terms of plowing and making a way for other Black women to follow in her footsteps.
She's amazing.
Beautiful.
I would certainly buy her album.
Indeed. She's got actually a second one coming out very soon.
Excellent. We'll look for it.
Indeed. Stay with us. We're coming right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Technology helps us connect across long distances.
That's right. And for a 7th grader with a rare form of cancer, technology is also helping him stay in school. Right now, Kyle Wintraub lives in Philadelphia for a year of treatment, but he's still attending his school in Florida by using a Vigo robot.
I can make the robot spin so I can see the whole classroom. So it's basically just like I'm there.
He's no longer isolated. He is part of the class. He's a normal kid.
He probably wants to learn, even though he can't be here. He wants to see his friends.
Awesome. Well, Kyle uses his computer to maneuver the robot through the school. He not only attends class, but hangs out with his friends, too. Friends that helped him raise $6,000 to pay for the robot. Though he's several states away, he's not missing out on anything. He gets to hang with his buddies. I love that.
That works. That works
Go
for me.
Kyle. Well, that's it for now on CBN News Today. Remember, you can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you join us next time. Have a marvelous Monday, everybody.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. hair, so don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.